Good morning, Royal High School Woodshop, and welcome back to our third part of our drafting project. And as you see behind me here on the board, we have now done two of the views of our box. We've drawn out the top view, which is here, and the front view, which is looking straight on at the box. Today we're going to finish up our drafting part of the box itself. We will go on to drafting the lid. That'll be in another video. But today we're going to wrap up the box itself by drafting our third part of the box, which is going to be the side view. So over here we've got the side view. You'll see that on your paper. And now we're going to take the box like this and turn it this way. We're going to draft what it would look like looking at the side of the box. Now the side of the box and the front of the box are almost identical, except they're just smaller, right? One is long, one is very narrow, but everything else about them is almost the same, identically the same. So this should go pretty quickly, and then we'll have a working drawing. We'll have three different views of our box drawn. We'll have all the dimensions and notes and numbers that we need to be able to really go out into the shop and cut out all the pieces and assemble the box. Then what we'll do is we'll take a look at our lid and the design and drafting of the lid, and then we'll finish up the project by actually building the whole thing. So let's get right to drafting the third side of our box, the side view. And let me zoom you on in here so we can take care of that. So today let's start on our side view. Remember, the things that you need for your drawing are your pencil, your eraser, your ruler, and the rolled up paper that came in the bag, as well as perhaps a piece of tape so that you can tape that down. Your paper may already still be taped down from doing drawings 1 and 2. Once again, I have the points on the paper. All I have to do to start is to connect the dots. I'm just going to do that lightly using my ruler. Now, this drawing is a little bit narrower, it's a little smaller, so that's really the only difference in our side view from the front view. It's just a narrower version of the same thing. So remember that the wall thickness of our box is a ½ inch. A ½ inch is 8 little lines on your ruler. So I measure over 8 lines at the top, or a ½ inch, 8 lines, or a ½ inch at the bottom. Turn my ruler and connect those with a light line. I'll do the same thing over here on this side. Measure over a ½ inch at the top, measure over a ½ inch at the bottom. ½ inch is 8 little lines. Then I'm going to turn my ruler vertically and draw my light line. Now, again, the thing that we did next is we kind of work in what does a rabbet joint look like from this view? Well, so we need to think about that. What does a rabbet joint look like from this view? So in this view, right, so there's a rabbet joint. Remember, this view, we're standing and looking at the side of the box. Here's the front piece, here's the side piece. What would the rabbet joint look like from the side? All right, well, as I look at my close-up view here of the rabbet joint, I recognize that really this is what it's going to look like. From this angle, all I see is straight lines. That's what's going to show up in my side view. Just lines or where things come together. So here's a line right here. I would see that from the side of the box. That's the outside edge. Here's another line. So I would see that as a dash line. I can't see it from the outside of the box, but here's another straight line. So I would see that. And then that's it. There's nothing else. It goes over to the other corner and there's the other corner. So really that's it. A rabbet joint from this view looks like that. I just have to change this inside line to a dash line. It's hidden. And essentially all of that's done. Then I just add my bottom. So I'm going to come back. And I'm just going to darken in this corner. Now I'll come over and do the same thing over here. All right, and there's the outside view of the side of the box. Let me get rid of this illustration here, our little section view or our detail drawing there. And now the last thing I need to put in here before I do my dimensions is I'm going to put the bottom in. So if I think back to my other views, the bottom was 1/4 of an inch up. 1/4 of an inch is 4 marks on my ruler. Then I'm going to turn my ruler horizontally . And then I'm going to remember, right, that a single line isn't enough. That just represents like paper thin material. The bottom is 1/8 of an inch thick. So I'm going to measure up 1/8 of an inch from the left side, measure up 1/8 of an inch from the right side, and then I'm going to draw a second line 1/8 of an inch above the first line. 1/8 of an inch is 2 marks on the ruler. Turn my ruler horizontally. And there we go, there's the bottom. Now, we also have to come back here and remember how the bottom fits in. So here's a groove along the front, but that groove extends out into the side. Now we're drawing the side. The groove would come along the side, but then it extends out into the front and back. What does that look like on my drawing? I have to extend this groove into the back, and I have to extend this groove into the front. How far do I extend it? Well, we talked about the fact that a groove never goes into a board more than halfway. So at the very most, we would extend it about 1/4 an inch. Half of a half is 1/4. Now on our other drawings, we went about 3/16. So I can measure with my ruler about 1/4 of an inch to 3/16 into the front piece and into the back piece. And then extend the bottom out like that. So there's our drawing. There's the front of the box, the back of the box. We're looking at the box from the side, and we can see through hidden lines, we can see that there's a bottom in it right here. Now we just need to add our dimensions, and we're done with our side view. We're ready to move on to our top. All right, well, we've got our side view drawn. Now we need to add to it our extension lines and dimension lines. So let's do that real quick. I need to bring a line from this corner up and from this corner up. That's the overall width of the side view. And remember, as we do these dimension lines, the arrows should touch the extension lines. Extension lines do not touch the object itself. These are object lines that shows the side view of the box. These are extension lines that come up, and then the dimension lines here and here with the arrow tips on it. I'll put an extension line out here and out here so I show the overall height of the box. And there really isn't too much to this view. There's only a couple of dimensions and we're done, because we've already put a lot of this in other views, and this is a pretty simple view. On each view that I can, I want to show what is the thickness of the stock that we're building the box with. So every time I can put it in, I want to do that just to confirm for the person. In this case, we're using 1/2 inch stock. Over here, I need to show, again, remember on our front view, we wanted to show how do you locate the groove. This dashed line right here, the bottom, how do you locate that groove? Well, it's a 1/4 inch up from the bottom, so I need to put 2 extension lines. I'm going to extend a line out right here from the bottom, and then I'm going to come up to the bottom of the dashed line, and I'm going to extend a second line out here. Like that, and then I'll come out up to my dash line and do it again. Like that, so there's 2 lines that come out, and then so that tells me right here I can put the dimension for how far up do we cut the groove. I think that's really it, except for the note that we want to write in here that tells us what is this dashed line right here. That's the bottom of the box, so we want to put our arrow in there. And I think that's it. There's all our dimension and extension lines. Now let's add in our numbers. All right, well, let's put the numbers in. Up here at the top, the overall width of the box is 4 11/16 of an inch. Now, I think that on our top view, I put 4 3/4. Here's why I'm going to change that. I think that was a mistake. And the reason I'm changing it is because we have a lid, and the lid is 4 3/4 by 7 3/4, which means that the box needs to be a tiny bit smaller than that. I need to intentionally make the box smaller. If I make the box 4 3/4 by 7 3/4, and I make my lid 4 3/4 by 7 3/4, they are, unless I'm lucky, they're not going to want to fit together. There's always a chance that one is going to get stuck. So I want to intentionally make my box a tiny bit smaller than what the lid opening is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4 11/16 there. You could go back into your top view and change that dimension. The overall height on the front view was 3 inches, so our overall height here is 3 inches. The thickness of the material, the stock that we're using to build our box, is a 1/2 inch. And then over here, we said that we want to measure up about 1/4 inch and then put our groove. So we'll go like that. Next, let's come in here and add our note for the bottom. So remember, this was 1/4 inch MDF bottom with oak veneer. We write all that, and I'm going to write it all in capital block letters. Remember, width is a W with a forward slash. And veneer is V-E-N-E-E-R. 1/4 inch MDF bottom with oak veneer. I think the one other thing I want to add in this view, because I can do it, is I want to show how deep the groove is. How high do I raise the table saw blade to make the groove? So to do that, I'm going to add in one more set of extension lines. And we'll go like that. We'll add 1/4 inch. So we show how deep how deep should I make the groove? Which for a woodshop person is, how high do I raise my table saw blade when I make this cut so that the groove is in the right spot? And we just want to reiterate that it's a 1/4 inch. A groove or a dado is never deeper than halfway through the stock. So there it is. That wraps up our side view. We now have 3 drawings. We now have the top of the box looking down into the top. We have looking at the front, and here we now have looking at the side. We have 3 drawings. That makes it a complete working drawing. We have enough information now to take that drawing out into the wood shop, build the parts, cut them all out the correct size, and we could actually build the box from it. So next, we need to turn to our lid, and we're going to draft or draw a 3-view drawing of our lid, as well as design the parquetry project, design the pattern that we want to build for our lid. So let's go look at that video next.